Hello everyone, welcome. Let's focus a little more on business development. Entrepreneurial thinking remains just a dream and a design unless it translates into concrete steps. Let's take a closer look at how entrepreneurs can realize their dreams and goals. Today's topic: explain how to develop business model focused on reducing food waste and loss at the customer level. Let's begin. Our course overview today. This study unit focuses on transforming the greatest efficiency lost in the food system, food waste at the consumer level, into a billion-dollar entrepreneurial opportunity. This course approaches food waste not just an environmental issue, but as strategic market gap that can be solved through technology, IoT, and AI, and behavioral economics. Nudging. Learning objectives is regulatory mastery, analyze binding targets and tax incentives under EU Waste Framework Directive and Turkey's Zero Waste Regulation. Behavior analysis, conduct target audience segmentation by understanding psychological condition determining waste using TPP and MOA models, etc. Business model development, design subscription, sharing economy, and upcycling models using design thinking and morphological analysis. Technological integration, evaluate the impact of IoT and AI-based inventory management solution on operational efficiency and lost savings. Strategic application, adapt global success stories, misfits target market to good to go renewable meal to local market dynamics. Future markets and visionary entrepreneurs. Today, we aren't just here to talk about leftovers. We are here to discuss how to seal a massive leak in the global economy and build a new market from it. As an industrial psychologist, I can tell you changing human behavior is the hardest yet most profitable form of innovation. Under SDG 12.3, we are tasked with halving food waste by year 2030. However, we don't view this is just a social responsibility project. For us, food waste is a resource efficiency and value management issue. If one-third of your input vanishes before becoming output, that's a design failure. Our slogan is clear: turn food into value, waste into opportunity. Let's turn this moral paradox into entrepreneurial success story. Numbers can be heartbreaking. Approximately 1/3 of all food produced is never consumed. This isn't just a failure to feed 783 million people. It represents an annual economic loss of $1 trillion. To put in perspective, we are throwing away the market cap of a global giant every year. Not a mention, 8 or 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions come from this waste. As an entrepreneur, what do you see? I see a massive market gap waiting for a solution. If you solve just 1% of this waste market, you are looking at a unicorn. The trash bin is actually a gold mine. You just need the right lens to see it. In entrepreneurship, they say, catch the wind in your sails. Right now, that wind is blowing strongly from Brussels. The farm to fork strategy is masterpiece of an EU Green Deal, aiming to make food systems fair, healthy, and eco-friendly. The EU has set binding targets for 23, a 30% reduction in household and restaurants. This means government and corporations must now measure and report their waste. Regulations are creating a legal shield and incentive framework for food rescue startups. When you pitch your waste, reduction tech, doors will open not out of politeness, but out of legal necessity. We cannot fix what we don't understand. The theory of plant behavior, TPB, highlights three determinants: attitude, subjective norms, and perceived control. Theory of plant behavior is in food waste management. This theory focuses on three core elements that determine a consumer's intention to act: attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral controls. As an entrepreneur, it's not enough to make people say waste is bad. You must strengthen social influence norms and the individual's ability to prevent waste control. Psychologically, application and strategic feedback reinforce the belief I can prevent this waste are the essential fuel that transform intention into sustainable action. If serving a generous table is a status symbol, subjective norm, in a culture, simple moralizing wouldn't stop the waste. We must also use the MOA model to analyze motivation, opportunity, and ability. We categorize consumers into aware, pragmatic, and unconcerned segments. For the largest group, the 44% pragmatic Westers, saving money is the key trigger, not the environment. Startups must use technology to bridge the gap in consumer ability or opportunity. Don't just educate, empower. Humans are not rational creatures. It's very interesting, but it's true. If we were, that broccoli wouldn't be turning yellow in your fridge right now. Cognitive biases, like the sunk cost fallacy, lead us to keep food we wouldn't eat, only to throw it away later in larger quantities. Cognitive biases, the human mind uses shortcuts to prevent us from making rational decisions in food management. Specifically, the sunk cost fallacy leads us to keep food we paid for even if it's spoiled, causing larger waste later. Due to the optimism bias, we also overestimate how much we can consume. Startups should design smart interfaces that manage this irrational process through data, allowing consumers to recognize their own cognitive errors and correcting their decision-making mechanism at the source. This is where nudging theory comes in. Nudge theory, this powerful tool of behavioral economism, aims to push people toward the right decision through small, low-cost intervention rather than bans. For example, reducing plate size or creating Eat Me First section in fridges are examples of nudging. In entrepreneurship, this merges with UX design. Instead of overloading human willpower, making waste prevention the default or easiest option is the most elegant and effective way to create mass behavioral change and systematic impact. A United Kingdom study proved that simple visual reminders increased food recycling by 20%. Your business idea? Apps that provide Eat Me First stickers or smart notification for fridges. Don't force people. Nudge them gently in the right direction. It's like what our mothers did, but better UI UX. Beauty standards are ruthless, even for carrots. A slightly cropped carrot or a spotted apple rarely makes it to the shelf. Enter Misfits Market, a classic example of subscription model that delivers imperfect produce at 25 or 40% discount. Misfit Market startup, this business model presents a perfect example of the circular economy by reintegrating ugly produce, rejected by retail chains for aesthetic flows, back into the economy. Recognizing the inefficiency in the supply chain, the startup project farmer income and offers consumer up to 40% savings via subscription model. From a consulting perspective, Misfits Market doesn't just sell vegetable boxes. It transforms the idle capacity created by standardization obsession into a high-value, sustainable service. This model rescues farmer surplus while providing a clear cost advantage to consumers. The impact? Millions of tons of food saved and a highly loyal subscriber base. Remember, the shape of a tomato doesn't change the taste of the sauce, but your business model can change the world. What happens to fresh bread or restaurant meals at the end of the day? They used to go to the bin. Now they go to the entrepreneur's radar. Apps like Too Good To Go offer discounted surprise bags. Too Good To Go style apps. These apps connect surplus products from restaurants and markets nearing their expiration date with consumer through a surprise bag concept on a digital marketplace. It creates an opportunity for business to generate revenue from items with zero marginal cost while providing affordable food to customers. This B2C sharing economy model democratizes the value of food. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, it optimizes real-time supply and demand to private wasted by eliminating information asymmetry through technology. Singapore's Yindi uses a success fee-only model to prevent waste without financial risk to business. Singapore-based Yindli examples. Yindli utilizes a success-based commission model to manage food surplus in the Asian market. Instead of charging business a fixed fee, it earns revenue only per rescued meal, thus minimizing financial risk for partners. From an industrial psychology perspective, this triggers the loss aversion drive of business owners. Yindi has positioned itself as a strategic solution partner that turns sustainability from a luxury into a tool that increases profitability with low operational burden. This is the ultimate win-win. Business minimize loss, consumer get cheap food, and the environment is protected. The sharing economy turns every waste bite into a macro transaction. We aren't selling leftovers. We are selling smartly rescue value. What is in the fridge in one of the great mysteries of modern life? Because we don't know, we buy a second carton of milk. IoT technology are the surgical strike against this problem. Solutions like FridgeCam make your fridge smart, tracking use by this by suggesting recipes. FridgeCam style solution, these IoT-based solution allow user to see inside their fridge anytime, anywhere, preventing double buying errors. These devices offer smart inventory management, tracking food freshness, and suggesting recipes for products near their expiration. For an entrepreneur, the opportunity lies not just in the hardware, but in the data collected. By analyzing consumer habits, these technologies aim to drive up waste up at the source by creating personalized shopping lists before the consumer even reaches the market. Even more impressive is Vestless, which uses AI-driven dynamic pricing to lower prices as shelf life decreases. They have seen waste reduction of up to 80%. Data is becoming our greatest kitchen ally. For forgetfulness is no longer an excuse. It's just a bad user experience. Now, my favorite part, alchemy. But instead of lead to gold, we turn waste into food. Upcycling is the art of transforming food byproducts into high-value products. Upcycling and valorization. Upcycling is the transformation of food byproducts into new, higher-value products through biotechnological or industrial process. For instance, producing high-fiber snacks from fruit juice pulp is a valorization process. This approach redefines waste as raw material. In entrepreneurship, this is the most profitable path for transition from a linear to a circular economy. Strategically, it's an innovative vertical growth strategy that minimizes raw material cost while maximizing the product's environmental value and storytelling power. Take renewable milk, which turns dairy byproducts into high-protein flour, or white mustache, which repurposes whey into probiotic tonics. The upcycled food market is projected to reach $97 billion by 2031. We are replacing the world waste with secondary raw material. Yesterday, waste is tomorrow's raw material. Yesterday's waste is tomorrow's raw material. Who wouldn't want a cookie made from upcycled grains? What is the world doing? Finance led the way with Louis Garot. France led the way with Louis Garot, banning supermarkets from destroying food and resulting in a 93% donation rate. Italy took the carrot approach with the Gatta law, offering a 50% waste tax tariff reduction for donating business. Meanwhile, Denmark's Stop Sip of Met movement reduced household waste by 25% through social awareness and ending bulk discounts. In Turkey, we waste an average of 102 kilograms per capita annually, well above the global average. But for us, that's potential. The zero waste regulation and food banking incentives are fertile ground for entrepreneurs. Specifically, the fiscal advantage of dedicating donation costs from the tax base is a huge win for business. Turkey's strong agro-industry, hazelnuts, olives, fruit juice, is a massive source of raw materials by product polarization. Localize global models and tap into these delicious incentives. Protecting the abundance of Anatolia is now commercial necessity. To wrap up, designing tomorrow's food system is on our hands. When building your business model, focus on the three pillars: convenience, savings, and ethics. You must save the consumer time, save them money, and make them feel good. Data collection and measurement are your compass. You cannot manage what you cannot measure. The future belongs to those who value food and combine that value with digital innovation. Design the future. Protect the table. Now, the stage is yours. Are you ready to go after that $1 trillion? Thank you.